back inside. 30, 20, 15. They will not catch him today. This week at Inside Bobcat Football, the Cats are back for their final game of the regular season. We have all the highlights in their game against the Troy Trojans. Plus, we'll say farewell to the 24 seniors who have wrapped up their Bobcat careers, and we'll look ahead to what's in store for 2014. But first, here's Bill with Bobcat head coach Dennis Francione.
The Bobcats had a quick turnaround as they traveled to Troy, Alabama for the 2013 regular season finale. For the Trojans, they were battling for bowl eligibility, and the Bobcats using their third starting quarterback in 3 weeks. The Bobcats fell in Troy 42-28. Now we're joined by Coach Fran. We're here between the end zone complex and the south end zone at Bobcat Stadium. And Coach, I just mentioned it going into the ball game, knew that Troy had a bunch of offensive weapons and you had your third starting quarterback in 3 ball games. First of all, what did you think of the performance by your senior quarterback, Duke DeLancelotti?
Well, I thought he did a pretty nice job. I think he was about 11 for 30, so he had some accuracy things that could have been a little better. But he directed the team, and we scored 28 points, and really should have gotten 35 out of it.
We knew it'd be a tough challenge for the defense. Troy with 2 very good senior quarterbacks in Corey Robinson and Deion Anthony. And you made an interesting comment to John McElfresh, our sideline reporter, as we were coming out of halftime. You talked about the fact that the defense can be really good on 65 out of 70 plays, but those 5 plays can come back and bite you. And I thought that was the case there in the first half and ultimately in the ball game.
Well, I think Troy had gotten a lot of big plays all year. We weren't the first one to have trouble with that, but the big plays hurt us. Whether it was a run or a pass, they hit them at the right times. And in defensive football, like you say, 60 out of 65 is not good enough.
Yeah, 21-14 right before halftime, and a 4th down play, 4th and goal for the Bobcats, and a perfectly designed play, not able to get the touchdown there. How did that affect the momentum going into the second half?
Well, I really thought Brad Miller made the catch, but it didn't turn out that way for us. 21-21 would have been nice going in at halftime on the road, but we're still in good shape in the game, and we wanted to go for it. I think at this point in time in the season, trying to tie it up at halftime on the road would have been huge, and thought we had a good play, and we executed it fairly well. The throw was a little behind Brad, but tied up would have been huge at that point in time.
All right, Coach, you go into the locker room down 21-14. We're going to step aside and look at the first half highlights.
Texas State's final game of the regular season comes against the Troy Trojans in a pivotal game for both teams with bowl implications on the line. On Troy's first possession, Bobcat linebacker Mike Garakpo comes up with a sack of Trojan quarterback Corey Robinson for an early 3rd down stop. Ensuing Bobcat possession and in Duke DeLancelotti's first career start, he shows off his arm strength with a bullet to Terrence Franks, who hangs on for a 17-yard gain. 2 plays later on 2nd and 5 from the Troy 41, DeLancelotti back to throw again and zips another pass to Isaiah Battle, who picks up 18 yards to put the Cats closer to the red zone. And it wouldn't take long for the Bobcats to get in the end zone as they run one of their staple goal line plays, freeing up Ryan Carden for an easy touchdown as Texas State takes an early 7-0 lead. Fast forward to the second quarter and the score now 14-7 Trojans. One of the few Bobcats on the roster from the state of Alabama is Brandon Smith, who's 4th in the FBS at kick returns this season. The Prattville, Alabama native comes up with a big return here for 42 yards near midfield. On the drive, the Bobcats run a draw from Franks, who pulls off just about every move in the book, shaking, spinning, and leaping by the Trojans for 19 yards and a 1st down. 2 plays later, Duke is back to throw, but with nobody open, the senior from San Clemente, California, takes off running, and on the way, he even delivers a stiff arm, all leading to a 17-yard gain, which was a sign of things to come, because 2 plays later, Duke runs a quarterback keeper and shows no fear, running right through the Trojan defense and into the end zone, capping off a 7-play, 56-yard drive, which ties the game at 14 with just over 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. Overall, Duke DeLancelotti had a solid first half of play, accounting for over 120 yards of offense and 2 touchdowns, but a handful of big plays for the Trojans has given Troy a 21-14 halftime lead over Texas State. After the break, we'll say goodbye to the 24 seniors who played their final game this past Friday at Troy.
Color match test complete.
Are you making it just any night? Or are you making it remember that night? Are you making it dinner after the game? Or are you making it a victory meal? Are you making it good enough? Or are you making it great with America's #1 choice, Pizza Hut? Now Pizza Hut offers that great pizza at a great price, the $10 any carryout deal. Any pizza, any size, any toppings, now just $10 when you carry out. We all have a choice. Get America's #1 pizza and make it great.
How do you show your Bobcat pride? Now you can show it off and keep your money here at Texas State, because whenever you buy at the University Bookstore at Texas State, that money stays here on campus. Apparel, books, gifts, and much more. Online or in the heart of Bobcat country, find it, get it, and keep it on campus. University Bookstore at Texas State, your bookstore.
"24 seniors suited up for the final time this past Friday in Troy, each and every one of them serving as a foundation for the future of Texas State football.
Number 53, Devin Baker.
I miss two things. Coach Schultz and his lack of technological skills in the film room. He's always making us pull up film because he can't figure it out. And then another one is Coach Conway. He always says reload, and every day, over and over.
What does that mean?
It means we got to run the play over again because somebody messed up.
Highlight of my career would be against South Alabama. I had an interception and I took it back for a touchdown.
Matheny throws far side, pass picked off. Awuchi, 15, 10, pick 6. Justin Awuchi for the Bobcat touchdown.
Favorite memory would be upsetting Houston and beating the SFA in 2010.
We know we had to take that role and be able to build a leadership program around here, around the new coaches, and change the culture.
My interception a few years back, went in for about 5 plays, I want to say, and on the 5th play, got me one real quick, handled business, and sat back down.
When Coach Frank comes out, he always says hubba hubba, and like Coach Navar's like crazy.
I want to miss all the jokes and all the pranks that we play and everything like that through the locker room and out of practice. It's always a good time.
Team spirit, the family we have, just everybody's closeness to each other. Everybody loves one another, takes care of each other.
Hanging out with the boys and stuff, you know, and doing what we do together, you know, how much of a family we are.
I'd say favorite part is after we got our 6th win, is doing something that no other team here has done before.
I would say this whole 2013 season is just going to be a complete memory for me. You know, it's been pretty special, you know, me redshirting last season so I can play this season. Just having a bond I do have with the people, especially the way they took me in when I got here.
My dad played here. I wanted to play in his footsteps, and I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Probably beating South Alabama in the last second of the game.
I chose Texas State because I had a roommate from the University of Utah come here, and came in with the old coaching staff, and I don't know, it was a good fit. My mom went here, so she was an alum, and just had a good fit for the area. So,
just the culture we building and just having a chance to play for a bowl game.
I chose Texas State because I'm from Austin and transferred here because I knew some of the coaches. Coach Schultz, there's a lot of memorable things about Coach Schultz. Mostly personally getting yelled at, but other than that, he's a pretty good inspirational guy. He's given us a lot of really good pregame speeches.
Just being around the team and going through those two-a-day struggles and doing the talent shows at the end, just the camaraderie of the team is probably the best. I mean, it's what I'm gonna miss the most. But
miss most is probably just the brotherhood, the fellowship that we share, definitely.
Daryl Morris and Joplo Bartu, we got together with them as a leadership council when they were here, and just we identified the problems, what we needed. We just needed leadership. We needed direction, and that was our goal. That was our main objective to approach this season, and we had to get it accomplished. And Coach Fran picked an amazing leadership council, and we meshed together, and we were just able to get the job done and just lead our team as a mother and father would lead their family.
Texas State is a place that encourages dreams and offers connections that make those dreams come true.
A place that engages minds and hearts. A place that puts my passion to work in ways to strengthen my community.
What I learned at Texas State helps me reach beyond the campus and make a difference in the real world.
Just a game. Then it became your passion. You've sacrificed everything to arrive at this moment.
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Yeah!
This is where it all comes together.
Oh yeah! He's got it! 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
And this is where it happens.
The second half opens with the Bobcats trailing the Trojans 21-14, but we fast forward right to the fourth quarter as Troy's added to its lead, now 35-14. But the Cats aren't going down easy, coming up with a big play of their own, a 70-yard passing play to Brandon Smith, who's eventually tackled from behind to the 1-yard line. The catch is the longest in the career of Brandon Smith, who'll be the Bobcats' top returning receiver next season. And Texas State would score the very next play as Duke DeLancelotti runs the option and walks in untouched for his second touchdown of the day, a score that pulls the Bobcats within 35-21 with plenty of time left to play. It's up to the defense to get the ball back, and on Troy's ensuing possession, Craig Meagher pushes Eric Thomas out of bounds after a short gain, and 2 plays later on third down, the Bobcat pass rush gets to Corey Robinson, whose swing pass to Kari Franklin goes nowhere as Texas State's defense forces a 3-and-out. The Bobcats' next drive features another nice throw from DeLancelotti, who whips a pass over the middle to Isaiah Battle for 21 yards. Texas State has several big plays in offense, including a 34-yard run from Robert Lowe, whose season came up just short of the 1,000-yard mark. The Bobcats racked up nearly 200 yards of offense in the fourth quarter against Troy, just not quite enough points. Friday's game was notable for the 24 seniors who played their final game, including receiver Andy Erickson, who finished his Bobcat career with 65 catches for over 700 yards. Although players like Erickson will be missed, the Bobcats will welcome all of their running backs back next season, a group which accounted for over 2,000 yards of offense this season. The Bobcats' final touchdown of the season was fittingly scored by a senior and thrown by a senior as DeLancelotti hooks up with Battle for the score. A valiant effort comes up just a little short for the Bobcats as they fall on the road to the Trojans. The final score from Veterans Memorial Stadium, Troy 42, Texas State 28.
Coach, there are the highlights from the game this past Friday. Already talked about a new quarterback at the helm on Friday afternoon. Despite that, 28 points, 18 first downs, 425 yards of total offense, including 233 on the ground. I thought the game at Troy was kind of a nice way to end the regular season for the Bobcat offense.
They came back and played much better than they had the week before, and we fit better against this defensive unit than maybe some of them. And The coaches put together a good game plan, and Duke DeLancelotti did an admirable job of filling in for us there, and our running backs had a nice day.
As we've already talked about, the defense had some issues with the myriad of weapons that Troy had. But as I looked at the numbers, 4 of the top 6 tacklers from the game on Friday, including David Mayo, who had 16 tackles, 4 of those 6 guys will be back in 2014. As you were walking into the locker room after the ball game, kind of thinking about everything, including your defense, what were your thoughts on the Bobcat defense version 2013?
Well, we took some good steps defensively this year. This is the best defense we've had since we've been here. We spent the entire first 4 or 5 games playing spread offenses and doing it fairly well, but we probably weren't able to change gears to the power offenses as well in that little streak, and that hurt us just a little bit. Of course, those were good football teams too. And then we had to change back to Troy and the spread offense, and they're just really good on offense. So we met a lot of challenges. We still have some challenges to meet.
There's a lot invested in any football season. As you were in the locker room there on Friday afternoon after the game, looking into the eyes of your football team, what was the final message to the team as a group?
Well, I told them we'd had a good year. Could have been a great year, but we had a good year. Would have liked to have gotten a 7th win in those last 3 games. We knew they were all going to be tough games, but I was really proud of our seniors, proud of the leadership that they had provided. This was the best leaders that we've had since I've been here. Collectively, they gave a lot to the program, sacrificed a lot, committed a lot, and good senior class for others to emulate as we go forward.
All right, Coach, we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll look to the future of Bobcat football.
complete.
Gay breaks a tackle down the sideline across midfield, inside the 30, 20, 15. They will not catch him today. Touchdown. Catch Inside Bobcat Football with Dennis Francione, Tuesday on the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, and in Houston, Thursdays on the Comcast Sports Network.
The seniors are a lot to be proud of for what they've given, and we had a good year. We could have had a great year, but we just weren't quite up to the task yet. But I'm still proud of what they got done this year.
Bobcats on 3, 1, 2, 3. Bobcats!
Coach, many magical moments in 2013. A record of 6-6, bowl eligibility. A true freshman quarterback arrived on the scene and really enthused Bobcat Nation and the football program. The offense loses just 3 starters from the ball game on Friday. What do you foresee for the Bobcat offense going into 2014?
I think the big word would be improvement. We played a lot of guys this year, especially in the offensive line, that it was their first time to play college football, and we went through a lot of growing pains with that, and of course anytime you turn to a freshman quarterback, you're going to go through some growing pains. But I think Tyler Jones has given us all bright hope for the future of that position and what he can do with this team, and the spark that he seems to provide when he takes the field.
You look to the other side, on the defensive side of the ball, the Bobcats had 8 players playing their final game on Friday afternoon. What is the defense going to have to do to reload for next season?
Well, we've got to recruit a little bit. So we've got to have some people come through in the defensive line. That's where our biggest losses are. Fortunately, we've got David Mayo and Micah Rackpo and Stephen Smith and Jared Jeter-Gilman back at linebacker. So there's a lot of solidness that will continue there to build around. We're going to lose some guys in the secondary, but we redshirted a number of junior college players. Demetrius Woodard, Trey Garrett, Brandon Jones will be back. So, you know, we've got some guys that I think will compete well in the spring and give Coach Nyvar a chance to rebuild.
Special teams is a lot like the offense in that there will be a lot of guys coming back. You do lose Andy Erickson, who led the Sun Belt Conference in punt returns, provided us with many exciting moments. What are your thoughts on special teams next season?
Well, our kickers basically are back in Will Johnson and Jason Dan, and of course Will did an admirably good job of punting. And losing Andy is a loss. You know, we'll always remember his ping pong ball returns and the way he bounced off people and made things happen, and his courageous catches and things like that. But Craig Mager is very good at that. I think Craig will step in there and do a nice job. He returned one 2 years ago against New Mexico State for a touchdown, so hopefully we're not going to drop off right there very much, and our returners are pretty well intact.
All right, Coach. Well, on behalf of all of our fans and everybody here at Inside Bobcat Football, we appreciate your support, your patience, your insight as we've gone through 2013 Inside Bobcat Football. And to you and your team, thank you for a tremendous 2013 season.
Thank you.
Color match test complete.
How do you show your Bobcat pride? Now you can show it off and keep your money here at Texas State, because whenever you buy at the University Bookstore at Texas State, that money stays here on campus. Apparel, books, gifts, and much more. Online or in the heart of Bobcat country, find it, get it, and keep it on campus. University Bookstore at Texas State, your bookstore.
Going to run it to his left now to throw. Got a man wide open. Smith the catch. Inside the 40. Running right to the 30. 25, 20. Inside the 15. 10, 5. And all the way down to the 1 yard line. First and goal coming up on a gain of 70 yards.
Brand Freeman, my broadcast partner from the Texas State Bobcat Radio Network, now joins us for the final time here on IBF in 2013. And Brant, what a memorable 2013 season. The Bobcats finished with a record of 6-6, bowl eligibility, first season in the Sun Belt Conference, and so many memorable plays. We remember Southern Miss, where the Bobcats pick up 3rd and long en route to the win against Southern Miss. Right over there, Jones to Ija helps the Bobcats knock off South Alabama. Memorable moments throughout.
Yeah, you said it, you know, and it does start with Southern Mississippi. You know, you mentioned the 3rd and 19 play that the Bobcats converted led to a Tyler Arndt touchdown run late in the game to beat the Golden Eagles 22-15. A 3-1 start to the season that included a win over Wyoming. Who could forget the 3.5-hour lightning delay to get that win? By the way, the first ever start for Tyler Jones was kind of his coming out party, and we saw what we can expect to see for years to come out of him. Robert Lowe had a memorable run at Texas Tech, and we saw what he's capable of doing with the explosive plays. You go to conference play, tough start, losing to the 2 perceived favorites, Lafayette and ULM, but then the Bobcats reel off that huge winning streak, beating Georgia State, coming from behind to beat South Alabama. You mentioned 4th and 24, then going to Idaho and earning bowl eligibility what a special 3-game winning streak that was. But then the final 3 games of the season, things did not work out according to plan, although all tough games. Very good opponents, Arkansas State, Western Kentucky, and then to win things against the Troy Trojans. It showed us what it will take for the Bobcats to be one of the top-tier teams in the Sun Belt Conference. That's what they have to play like. Those are the teams they have to beat in order to get on top of the mountain, so to speak, for years to come. So, yes, year 1, Sun Belt Conference, full of memories. And also, this season also memorable for the fact that 24 seniors wrapped up their Bobcat careers.
They did, and just to highlight some of the guys, Isaiah Battle ends up with 80 career receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving in a Bobcat uniform. You and I will never forget last season the school record 98-yard touchdown reception against the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks. Had a big 93-yard kickoff return for a score 2 years ago to help the Bobcats beat Prairie View A&M. And what about Andy Erickson? Coach Fran talked about it. On those punt returns, a lot of times he looked like a pinball bouncing around, and the Rice transfer, the Lake Travis product, certainly it'll be hard to fill his shoes in the punt return game. But offensively, the Bobcats have a lot of weapons coming back. There's no doubt about it. You mentioned as far as Tyler Jones, who will now be a sophomore with basically a half a season under his belt. We can expect bigger and better things from him. The running back core, Rob Lowe, one of the best in all the Sun Belt. Chris Nuttall had a very good season as well, and Tim Gay, tremendous job as a blocking back here in 2013. Just a few of the guys as far as the running back core goes. And tight ends, you've got Bradley Miller, who showed he's going to be a weapon as far as the passing game goes, and Ryan Carden. There towards the end of the 2013 season, he found a way to get the football in the end zone. He's going to be big coming back. The offensive line, as far as the 2 deep goes on the O-line, Brant, you only lose 2 seniors off that group, so there's a lot of experience coming back on the offensive side of the ball. And then we segue to the defense. And the defense, there will be a lot of changes coming up as the defense loses 10 off the 2 deep, including 5 seniors off the defensive front. Coach Fran kind of touched on that. Look at some of the guys who played their final game this past Friday at Troy. Xavier Daniels, a 4-year Bobcat out of Giddings High School. X ends up with 47 career games, 213 career tackles, made the switch from safety to cornerback this season. He'll be missed. Justin Awuji, another 4-year Bobcat. You mentioned the Georgia State game. Had kind of a game-sealing interception, a pick 6 against South Alabama for Awuji, a big playmaker. Aaron Matthews, a California native. When he arrived on the scene for a tackle, Brant, you saw it how many times. He brought a baseball bat. A hard hitter is going to have to be replaced. Blake McCulloch and DJ Yendry, a couple of anchors there on the defensive front. It's going to be, hard to fill the shoes of those guys. And we can't forget Damian McMiller, the leading tackler on this year's football team. A guy who only had 36 tackles a year ago, 8th on the team, and all of a sudden he ascends to the top of the heap when it comes to the defense. But there are some guys coming back. Micah Rakpo and David Mayo at linebacker, not a bad place to start. And of course, Craig Mager, he'll end up being one of the best cornerbacks ever here at Texas State. So there's a lot coming back. I'm looking forward to 2014, and it's going to be a really good schedule.
It is. You look at the non-conference home games for the Bobcats in 2014. Arkansas Pine Bluff will open the season and a home game against the Navy Midshipmen. That should be a very special game here at Bobcat Stadium. Look ahead to the non-conference road games going to the Big Ten. Champaign, Illinois against the Fighting Illini and the University of Illinois. And also a road game for the Bobcats in non-conference at Tulsa. Looking at the Sun Belt home games for the Bobcats this upcoming season. Idaho, Sun Belt Conference newcomer Georgia Southern, Louisiana Lafayette, the Sun Belt reigning champions next season, and Arkansas State. The Sun Belt Conference road games in 2014 will take the Bobcats to South Alabama, to Georgia State, to ULM, and to New Mexico State, who's coming back into the Sun Belt Conference where they used to be once upon a time. So 2014 promises to be a very special season here at Texas State. That's going to wrap up this season's worth of Inside Bobcat Football. Thanks to everybody that helped make this show possible. I'm Brant Freeman, thanking you for unleashing that battle cry this season, and we'll see you in 2014.